Hi, thank you for joining me for my second class. Today is going to be a little bit different. We're still going to focus on continuous line drawing. However, we're going to introduce colour and pay attention to the face. Drawing a portrait similar to this gal over here. So all you're going to need is some paper, a pencil, and if you have some oil pastels, that would be amazing. Otherwise, any crayons or coloured pencils will be great. So just grab your materials, make yourself comfortable, put on a great playlist in the background, pour yourself a drink of choice, get some snacks, and I will see you at your table. Today I thought we'd start by looking at the foundations of drawing a face. And then once we've drawn our basic face, identifying the key features that we're going to capture with our continuous line, which we're then going to apply to our final pastel portrait where we introduce colour. So let's start with the basics, your paper and your pencil, and we're going to draw an oval shape in the center of our page. This is going to be our head, and it's almost going to be like an egg shape. So just draw your egg in the center of your page, just roughly. Okay, so that's my face. Now I'm going to do a line directly down the middle of my face. This is going to be sort of my axes and serve as a guide to map out the features of our face. I'm going to take another line and do it directly in the middle, a horizontal line that cuts the vertical line exactly in half, or roughly if you're not using a ruler like me. It's a bit straighter. Now what we're going to do is put our eyes on our face, and we're going to use one eye as a measurement tool. So if these are the ends of our person's left eye looking at us, we're going to have 5 of these across the face. So if we use our pencil as a ruler, we've got 1 eye, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're going to have 1 eye's distance between our 2 eyes. So there's our eye, an eye between our eyes, and then our second eye. Now what I'm going to do is sort of map out the eyes using like an almond shape. Can identify the iris in the center of the eye because our person is going to be looking directly at us, rather creepily. Okay, now we're going to use our eye to determine where the base of the nose is. I'm going to say our nose is about 1.5 eyes distance down the page. So you can use your little measurement tool, go an eye and a half down, and that's going to be the base of your nose. And then you're going to go another eye down, and that's probably the center of your lips, thereabouts. So the end of our base of our nose is going to be sort of the start of each eye. So you can just do a line down here from inside of each eye, and then that can be the edges of your nose. You can sort of do your little brackets for the side of the nose, do your little nostrils, dip down, and just do a really basic nose. It's like a nostril. I'm going to come down, little lip area, and that little crease between mouth and lip, and start to flesh out the lips. Now, I never went to art school. I am not an art teacher. These are just basics I remember from doing art classes after school. And definitely don't take it as gospel, just a little guide today that we can use. Okay, so we've got our lips, our nose, and let's start to sort of give our nose a little bit more structure with these little angular lines that sort of are going to lead up to our brow. Now we can start to flesh out our face a little bit more. It's never really this round, so we can start to give it a bit more structure, a bit more of a chin. If we had an actual person or photo in front of us, we could be a little bit more specific, but sort of coming with the cheekbones, side of the face. Just a little bit more angular, a bit more of a grown adult face rather than a child's face. And then the top of your ear is going to be just above the eye and going to go down to just above the base of the nose. Just a rough guide. And come across. To our ears. They look quite big. And then we're going to put in our brows. So I like to say that the brows sort of start just outside the inner section of the eyelid, and I love a big brow, so I'm just gonna go to town with my brows and make them quite expressive, and just because I can. Love a little bit of an inflection at the sort of upper point of the brow. Bit of personality. There we go, that is sort of a basic face. If you want, just for fun, we can come and bring in a bit of the hairline, just so you can sort of see how the head forms. And then we'll come down and do our neck, going into our shoulders, cheekbones, and that is our quick basic face. So now what we're going to do is, if you have a darker pencil or a pen or a marker, I'd love for you to grab it, and we are going to trace this line but only really capturing key features. We're going to eliminate quite a few of the features and just sort of break it down so we can have our continuous line. So I'm going to start with the shoulder and the neck. Capture a bit of the brow, the pupil. And instead of doing both sides of the nose, I'm just going to turn the nose on its side and down here. And that is my abstraction of this face. So I'm going to pull that to the side. And now I'm just going to focus on this line. And I'm going to do that again. Now in this variation, I've started to shift things a little bit. I have made the eye a little bit lower and slightly closer to the nose to give the illusion that this person is turning their face away from us, so the right side of their face away from us, and they're sort of twisting their body, so the neck is a little bit bent this way, and they're looking down a little bit by having the eye slightly lower and the head slightly tilted. So let's see how we can continue to work. I think now I'm going to turn this person into a woman, and I am going to give her an earring. That is my dangly earring. I'm going to come back down. She's turning even more. So I'm going to keep evolving this woman until I've finally landed on a sketch that I'm really happy with, that I connect with, and that I like to use for my final pastel portrait. I think I'm going to play around with her eye. So I think I'm going to make her looking to her left. By placing her pupil on the far right side of her eye, it makes it appear that she's looking in this direction, which is her left. Now I think I'm gonna play with her expression a little bit more and perhaps tilt her head downwards a little bit more by sloping the angle of her nose. So hopefully you're joining me by developing your continuous line, the one you've drawn on top of your face and then have continued to evolve. So now she's looking down a little bit, she's looking to her left. She seems quite curious, a little bit suspicious. I'm going to play around with her lips a little bit more to see if I can transform her expression a little bit further and make her a little bit more complex. So now by lifting her lip on the right here, I might have taken it a little bit too far, but I've given her a little bit of a smirk, in my opinion. And I'm going to play around with that one more time before I go to my final sketch. I'm going to use my pencil this time because I'm going to start to introduce some colour as a little mock-up for our final artwork. So now we've got our base sketch, and if you haven't really landed on yours yet, feel free to hit pause on this video and continue to evolve your line. If you want to start again and draw your foundation of your face again and trace the line again, feel free to go ahead. Otherwise, you can continue along with me. I'm going to now start to introduce some color, and I'm going to use this sketch as a mock-up for our final drawing, which I am going to do on some slightly bigger paper. I've got some watercolor paper from home. If you only have the one kind of paper, that's completely fine. But I encourage you to sort of do a mock-up first to take the pressure off your final drawing. So these are the colors I picked out. I'm using oil pastels today. As I said before, you can use crayons or colored pencils, whatever you've got at home. I just picked colors that kind of landed with my mood today, some softer nude tones, some blues, and a little bit of brightness with that neon pink. And I'm going to start to play around with some abstract colored shapes on our drawing, which is going to give it a little bit of form and turn it into more of an abstract artwork. I'm going to start by taking this pink color and sketching on her neck a little bit. I'm not going to color in her whole neck, just a chunk of the neck. And then I'm going to balance it out and introduce this color on the inside of her earring. So I'm just going to do little messy splotches of color in the gaps around this artwork, not coloring it in perfectly, just being free with it. Now I think I'm going to take this grey blue, if I've got enough of it, and add some into this little section of her face, and perhaps the clasp of her earring. And then I'm going to take this light grey and start to block out the background. I think I'm just going to do half the background in this grey just to make it not, I want the whole artwork to be grey, just a little bit of grey. Now to balance that out, I'm going to take my bright pink and come into this side and scribble. This is where you want to be really free, not be too perfect. And now my eyes, I think I want to draw attention to her expression by really going in with my darkest color for her pupils. Make them a focal point of the drawing. And her lips as well, sort of flirty lips. Now I think I'm ready to bring in my final line. And I think I'd like to make this artwork pop a little bit by introducing this bright, beautiful blue. I'm going to chase the drawing with my oil pastel, but not perfectly. If some of the pencil comes through, that's totally fine. It actually makes it a little bit more interesting, and it's part of the charm. So here we go. One thing to be wary of with oil pastels is when a lighter color meets a darker color, like this light blue meeting the dark blue of the pupils, the light blue can get smudged by the darker color. So just something to be wary of in case you don't want to lose the pupil like I did there. You either have to work around it, or maybe when you're doing the darker colors, just be wary of staying clear of the pencil. So yeah, that is our rough mock-up. And now we are going to start working on our final pastel drawing for the day. So I'm going to put my materials aside. I'm going to keep this close by because that's going to be my reference for my final drawing. And I'm going to go ahead and draw up my final girl. Going with her eye, looking to her left. Her face is slanted down. Lips a little bit coy. And there we have it. That is our sketch for our final drawing. And now I'm going to come in with some color. Like I did last time, I'm going to, oh, that's the wrong color. Come in with her neck. This paper has a little bit of texture to it, so you can see that coming through the oil pastels there, which I find quite interesting. Oh, I'm gonna balance it out with her earring. Come in here, introduce our grey blue. Clasp of our earring. And come in and do this bright pink. This is my favorite part. Be really free with this. Balance it out with our gray on the side here. When picking your colors, you want to sort of pick a color palette that resonates with you today. So maybe you want to have a balance between some softer tones like this light gray, some brighter tones like this bright pink, and some deeper tones like this teal blue or the pupil of the eyes. Now I'm going to come in and do our eyes here. So a little smidgen for this pupil, a little smidgen for this pupil, and for our lips here. Now I'm going to come in with my final line. Okay. Here goes. If you find your final drawing hasn't worked out how you'd hoped, that is completely normal. I can't tell you how many times I do these and sort of 9 out of 10 don't work out. So feel free to give it another go if you aren't quite happy with it. But just know these drawings are meant to be free and imperfect and a little bit rough. So you don't want to be too perfect with it, but also allow yourself the space to give it a few goes. Now I'm happy with my drawing. And I'm going to sign her. So picking the color for our signature, I think I'm going to go with a color that I haven't used so much, which is this teal blue if I have enough of it. Let's see. Oil pastels are very messy if you're using them, so if you have them all over your hands, that's very normal. I'm going to go ahead and sign her. And there we go. That is my final pastel drawing. I hope you've had fun today, and I would really love to see your drawings if you don't mind sharing them. So if you tag me on Instagram, that would be amazing. I'd love to see them, and I hope to see you soon. And here is a shot of the finished drawing alongside some of the sketches and the mock-up, as I realized it was sort of cut out from that final frame there. I can't wait to see your photos.